GF says she doesn't get along with other women. GF, 21, was telling me, 24, that she does not get along with other women at her workplace and that she doesn't get along with women in general, although she does have close female friends. I feel like I've heard plenty times that this is a red flag. But why is it a red flag? My girlfriend and I have been with each other for nearly 2 years and I'm just now hearing this. Hopefully you see this edit. I apologize for late reply. I made this post during my break at work and now just got done. My girlfriend and I do have communication issues here and there. My philosophy, I guess I can explain it this way, is that I try to work through issues because we all know relationships aren't always perfect. I try to be rational about things, so I did not accuse her of anything. I simply just listened to her but got a little worried hearing that she doesn't get along with women because I've heard that's a red flag and usually a bad sign. My girlfriend does have close guy and girlfriends, but she also has problems with her girlfriends. I never usually hear any problems about her guy friends, so of course that statement stuck out. You know the saying, if everyone is an asshole, you're the asshole. This is why it's a red flag. If your girlfriend has issues with most women, then she is more than likely the problem. Also, women who say they don't get along with other women tend to do it because they can't stand not being the center of attention when they're with men. I have anecdotally found that the Venn diagram between women who don't get along with other women and people who say they hate drama but actually love drama is close to a circle. It means she sees other women as competition in any given setting, especially around men. And it should be a red flag. In my experience, most people who say things like that are self-absorbed and see themselves as better than other women or just see them as competition. But if she has close female friends, then I don't see why she's even saying she doesn't get along with women. If the whole world smells like shit, check under your shoe. In all those conflicts that your girlfriend has had with other women, there is only one consistent thing: her. If she's making the gross generalization that she can't get along with an entire gender, then she either doesn't take responsibility that she's a large part of the problem, or she knows she's the problem and doesn't care. It's a red flag because it shows emotional immaturity and an unwillingness to negotiate or take responsibility for their role in conflict, and that will bleed into all her interpersonal relationships, i.e., her relationship with you. Among other possibilities, there's one more I'd like to point out. She might be insecure and/or shy around women. This one is kinda me. Don't know why, but with women, I feel like I have less to offer because I can't just play the pretty girl card, if that makes sense. I actually feel have to be funny, more friendly, girly, etc., which takes more social energy and can make me feel insecure at times. It takes a bit more time for me to get comfortable with around another woman. Me and my fiancé ain't doing too good. She wants a poly relationship and I can't get on same page. So things are little rough. We have 2 kids and been together for 7 years. She has found a woman that she wanted to experiment with, and it's rough because she likes it a lot, and only way I would be able to stay if I become okay with her loving 2 people, as she states, but it's hard to become okay with it. So right now we were in process of buying a house and she wants to still get it even if things don't work out between us so we can co-parent. I feel that it will be hard. Will getting the house help things? Or should we just go out separate ways? No, do not buy a house together. That is an extremely bad idea. It will not help fix things and could end up devastating your finances. Poly isn't for everyone. It works for some people. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay. As others have said, she's putting herself and her feelings first. You need to do the same. You will be the best parent you can be if you maintain your own mental health. No one can tell you what you want. You need to be completely honest with yourself and try to be realistic about the situation and how it's likely to turn out. Co-parenting and living together aren't the same thing. You can feel uncomfortable in this situation and it's your right. She doesn't care about your feelings but just about herself, so you should do the same. Take into consideration that if you want to start again with a new girl, she definitely wouldn't like the situation going on in that possible accommodation, living with ex-wife plus new partners maybe. Also, would it be healthy for your kids, this solution? Don't buy the house. She has admitted to cheating with another person. Their sex does not matter. She is what is called a cake eater. She wants the home and stability of you while going out and having sex with others. You don't have to let her do this. You need to see a divorce lawyer and have her serviced papers even if you want to try to reconcile. This will show her that her action won't to accept it. For a divorce, just continue through. Don't buy the house as she wants it for herself and not for the family. She doesn't want to lose you because you likely make her life easier. Let's be real, if you buy a house together and split, we all know which one of you is staying in the house. Getting the house will help her. You say she likes it a lot, which means she already started trampling your boundaries. Don't buy anything with your fiancé. She's being majorly selfish here. It's time to rethink this relationship. You guys becoming poly is not just going to affect you but also your children as they are in the picture. Traveling abroad with my 25F boyfriend, 25M, is making me rethink things. As title says, I am abroad with my boyfriend. Our trip is 10 days in length. For some background, I have been with my boyfriend since early 2019. A few months after we started dating, I bought a house. He was unemployed but in school. He failed a drug test after getting an offer and then worked in a restaurant until he got fired. He changed his major a few times, got his AA, then decided he wanted to do trade school. I was wondering what I got myself into when I was 22 with a house and a decent job out of college, and my new boyfriend was basically living with me where I was heavily supplementing his rent and groceries. I also cooked, cleaned, etc. 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 We've had a few talks about it. He's been better. He finished trade school and has a better job. I've tried to be his cheerleader but I feel like I really blurred boundaries and haven't been able to reset those. I still do a lot of cooking and cleaning, he helps sometimes, but it's mostly me. What he pays for his share of the bills is also lower, but I do make more money. Back to our trip, it has been okay. We always get along and have a good time. We never really fight. And I know this is a trip I wanted to go on with him for my friend's wedding, but I am starting to resent the fact that he did not help me plan anything. I pre-planned, researched and booked all the tickets, and upon arrival I looked up directions, planned our day-to-day schedule, trying to involve him every step of the way, and have started to feel like I'm just dragging him around. He doesn't offer any input. He doesn't even know where we are going half of the time, even though I've talked to him about these places before the trip. A few months ago I found out that he was planning on proposing to me on this trip. While I do love him, I have not been able to see a future with him because I feel like I want more stability, professional, financial, in my partner. I've always taken that stuff very seriously. I carefully brought it up and told him I was not ready for that. As a result of health issues and generally being turned off by his lack of acting like a partner, we have had little intimacy in over a year. The lack of physical intimacy doesn't really bother me, but what does bother me is the fact that he will not ever take me out, do anything special for me, or plan anything. I never get any input from him on any future plans. I am always the initiator. We've gone on a few trips since dating, but they've all been initiated and planned by me. And I'm just getting really tired of it. Last night, after I took us around the city for our last day, we were going to get a drink at some place along the way back to our hotel. He told me to let me know when I saw a place I wanted to go. Frustrated over a few comments he made through the day, I said something like, "Can you please just make a decision this time instead of me?" And he kind of just said, "Well, sorry for asking. We can just go back to the hotel." And we didn't speak for the rest of the evening. I don't know if these feelings are being intensified due to exhaustion and travel-related stress, but sometimes, although we get along and have a good relationship, I just wish I was taken out or surprised with something special, or that he would take charge and decide where to go, rather than not making any decisions and depending on me to figure everything out. TLDR, I feel like my boyfriend of 3.5 years never plans anything or provides input and is always just along for the ride. But it started to feel like I'm his mom at home and even abroad. There's no intimacy or romance. He depends on me for basically everything. Are we just at different stages in life? Will this change? Is this just normal? I'm sure he's a nice enough guy. Otherwise you wouldn't have stayed with him this long. But the fact that you feel this frustration and lack of closeness to him after you found out he was considering proposing is very telling. It's clear that who this guy is and has been to this point is not someone you want to spend the rest of your life with. Maybe you can hold on and he will change, but that's not a good bet to make. I think you know what you want to do. Just a matter of deciding to do it. Guy sounds like a wet blanket, I am afraid to say from your description. That does not mean he does not have redeeming qualities, but it's probably better to spend some time on your own for a bit and move on. You have a child, not a BF. Seems like you're asking for permission to break up with him, so here it is. You can break up with him. Sounds like you are much more mature than he is. Don't marry a boy, and don't expect someone to change the way you want them to after you get married. He sounds like a lazy, low-value boyfriend. He's never going to change. He'll just follow along in your wake with poor jobs expecting you to subsidize you like you are now. The time has passed for you to try and change him, he's set in his ways. You set the bar by moving him into your house when he was unemployed and letting him get away with not contributing properly from the start. It's decision time for you and you have the obvious two choices. 1. Accept you're always going to be the one that has to do everything and love with it. Including childcare. He won't be any good at that either. 2. Find someone more similarly aligned with your life goals and expectations. You're 25. Can you live like this for another 50 years or not? My husband called me the N-word during an argument and he is Caucasian. My husband has a tendency to get extremely nasty during every argument we have. He apologizes after and I also express this isn't okay. I don't know how to move forward from our last argument though, as he said things that really have stuck with me. He told me I was a failure and the N-word. He threatened to kick me out of our home. This is the 3rd time he has threatened to pack up my things and kick me out. We have children and I am a stay-at-home mom. I do everything from cooking, cleaning, laundry etc. He does no dishes, no cleaning and doesn't even change the children's diapers. He says because he works he shouldn't have to do these things. I'm starting to really evaluate if this is what I want. I moved 2 hours away from my hometown to be with this man, drained my savings and racked up more debt. He threatens that if we split I will never have the children and he will do anything he can, even make up lies to make sure I don't get them. He has a child from a previous relationship and the mother also just packed a few bags and left for a week. My husband then court and made up a bunch of lies to gain emergency custody. He told me himself they were lies to make sure he would get the child. I love my children, I do everything for them and he cannot even watch one child on his own without assistance from a family member or friends. I'm 20 weeks pregnant, I think I want out, but how do I go about this without this man losing his mind and trying to be nasty to me? I feel so broken down from him, I wish I could run. Speak to a lawyer about this. Find out if there are options you might not be aware of. While you're at it, see if the lawyer can find out anything about your husband's divorce case that you might not have been told about. This guy's bad news, and it's time to think about exit strategies. Get help from a woman's shelter or see if your friends can help. But definitely get away from this abusive garbage. He doesn't deserve you. Also use a phone app to secretly record what he says to you. Get evidence of your abuse so you can back yourself up in court. You're dealing with domestic violence. These people can help. 1. Bring your kids with you back to your hometown, to your parents or a friend or anywhere you can stay. 2. Call CPS and report that he has told you he lied to get custody of his kid away from his ex, and is threatening to do the same to you. 3. File for divorce. 4. Get a job and become independent. My advice is to talk to a lawyer. This is narcissistic behavior and you do need out. His temper is abusive and he is clearly racist. See if you can find legal aid as well. So sorry you are experiencing this. He sounds terrible, to be honest, and I think you should find your way out of that relationship. It may seem hopeless at first, but once you start planning it will seem easier. Put some money away little by little. Make a plan with somebody you trust and get evidence of his temper and verbal abuse. Contact a lawyer and get the plan moving. All the best, you deserve much better. A better life, a better partner. You can find both, but for now, get away. Start today.